The Galactic Council had gathered in the vast council hall on the planet Veralia. Its walls shimmered with energy fields that displayed stars from countless galaxies. Delegates from hundreds of advanced civilizations moved gracefully across the hall. They spoke in many languages, their voices filled with authority, confidence, and power. At the center of this assembly, humans were small and quiet. Captain Rian stood with the human delegation, observing the strange, elegant beings around them. The council members looked at humans as if they were toys. Some snickered at their simple uniforms and modest technology. Rian felt their judgment, but he refused to show anger. He knew humans were underestimated, and he believed this was an advantage. "Let them think we are weak," he said to Mara, the lead scientist. Mara smiled slightly and nodded. "They will see soon enough," she whispered. Meeting began with the council president, a tall, blue-skinned alien named Veller, speaking in a deep voice that echoed across the hall. "We welcome humanity to the Galactic Council," he said. "Though your species has made some progress in your star system, your technology and understanding of space remain primitive compared to our standards." The words stung, but Rian did not respond immediately. Instead, he observed. Around the hall, delegates exchanged amused looks, some even whispering jokes about humans' fragility. Humans, Veller said, were untested and vulnerable. If anything went wrong in interstellar missions, humans would fail. Rian took a deep breath. He understood that these beings measured strength by power and efficiency. They ignored creativity, courage, and adaptability, traits humans had in abundance. He also noticed that some young delegates looked curious, not mocking. Even in the midst of arrogance, there were eyes that watched carefully, eyes that might soon realize humans were not ordinary. After the official discussion, the humans were allowed to demonstrate their technology. The other delegates watched as humans presented a new propulsion system designed for unpredictable environments. The council members raised their antennas or shifted their eyes in mild interest, but their expressions remained cool. They did not expect much. The human system was small and simple compared to the council's massive starships. Mara began the demonstration. A small model ship hovered and moved smoothly through a holographic simulation of an asteroid belt. It dodged obstacles with precision. The council members murmured softly. One delegate, an insect-like being named Krith, tilted its head and asked, "This is efficient, but will it survive a real asteroid storm?" Rian smiled. "We test our technology in unpredictable situations," he replied calmly. "Humans have learned to adapt quickly. We do not rely only on calculations or simulations. We rely on observation and action." Krith's antennas twitched. Few other delegates leaned forward, curious. Rian realized that even small hints of competence could plant doubt. The council was confident, but their confidence was fragile when faced with something unfamiliar. After the demonstration, the humans returned to their ship. The ride home was quiet. Rian stood by the viewport, looking at the stars. "They laughed at us today," he said, his voice steady, "but they do not see what we can do when we are challenged." Mara joined him. "It is not about strength in numbers," she said. "It is about courage, creativity, and never giving up. They measure strength differently. That is our advantage." On the way back to Earth, the human crew held a small meeting. Tov, the engineer, spoke first. "We have limited resources, but we can build tools and ships that other species cannot imagine. Our minds are flexible. We adapt to situations faster than anyone else." The other crew members nodded. Humans had survived harsh conditions on Earth for centuries. They had adapted to deserts, oceans, mountains, and storms. Space was a new challenge, but their history of survival gave them confidence. Rian concluded the meeting. "The council thinks humans are weak, he said. "They think we lack power and sophistication. They are wrong. Today was only the beginning. Soon, they will understand that humans cannot be predicted, controlled, or dismissed." Mara smiled. "Then we will begin our real work," she said. "We will explore, create, and show them the human spirit. They will respect us, not because of size or weapons, but because of our courage, intelligence, and heart." The ship moved silently through the stars. Outside the viewport, the galaxy stretched endlessly. Human eyes reflected the distant lights of countless worlds. Inside, determination burned brighter than any star. The council might have laughed at them, but humans were already preparing to rise. They were underestimated, but they were far from weak. And so, the journey began. Humanity would prove that the true measure of strength was not in the ships they built, but in the spirit that guided them. After returning from the Galactic Council, the humans felt a mixture of frustration and determination. The Council had laughed at them, dismissed them as weak, and judged their technology as primitive. Yet, Rian knew that humans had one advantage. No alien could fully understand their ability to adapt. On Earth, humans began planning missions that others in the galaxy avoided. The first assignment was a mapping expedition in the Kyrene asteroid belt. The Council considered it too dangerous, warning that no species could survive the chaotic, fast-moving rocks. For humans, it was a challenge to test their skills and ingenuity. Rian led the mission with Mara as chief scientist and Tove as the engineer. The small human ship, the Endeavor, was equipped with the new propulsion system they had demonstrated at the Council. It was not large or powerful, but it was flexible and responsive. Every crew member understood that success depended on coordination and quick thinking. As the ship entered the asteroid belt, massive rocks tumbled in unpredictable patterns. The Council's ships would have calculated precise trajectories, relying only on technology. Humans relied on observation, intuition, and teamwork. Rian directed small maneuvers. Mara monitored energy distribution, and Tove adjusted the engines in real time. One enormous asteroid suddenly shifted direction. It seemed impossible to avoid. The ship shook violently as Rian executed a daring maneuver, narrowly dodging the rock. The crew cheered. Other species observing from afar called it reckless, but humans saw it as natural. Adaptability was their strength. During the mission, the humans also discovered a stranded alien cargo ship. Its engines were damaged, and the crew was unable to repair them. Many species would have abandoned it, but humans acted immediately. They analyzed the ship, understood the problem, and modified their own equipment to provide a temporary fix. The alien crew was amazed. They asked how humans could think so quickly under pressure. Mara smiled. "We survive by facing the unexpected," she said. "It is part of our nature." News of the human success spread slowly through the galaxy. Some council members were intrigued, though most refused to admit it openly. The small victories built human confidence. They realized that intelligence alone did not define strength. Courage, quick thinking, and cooperation were equally important. After the asteroid mission, the humans turned to exploration in unknown systems. They found a planet with unstable weather patterns. Violent storms and magnetic fluctuations made navigation difficult. The Council would have sent only automated probes, fearing the risk to living beings. Humans, however, sent the Endeavor directly, knowing that adaptability gave them an edge. On the planet, the crew faced intense winds and electric storms. Tove and Mara adjusted sensors and shields. Rian guided the ship manually through the turbulence, and every crew member remained alert. They collected valuable data on the planet's atmosphere, energy sources, and mineral composition. The discovery surprised many in the galaxy, as no other species had dared approach such a dangerous world. During these missions, Humans also experimented with combining alien technologies with their own designs. They discovered methods to extract energy from magnetic storms, and even developed a small prototype of a universal tool that could repair damaged equipment automatically. The ingenuity impressed even some council members who observed indirectly. They had underestimated humans' ability to innovate under pressure. Back on Earth, the crew shared their experiences with the wider human population. Engineers, scientists, and students studied the data. Humans began building new ships, improving propulsion, and creating adaptive technology for future missions. Every small success made them bolder. Every challenge showed them that their strength lay in creativity, courage, and teamwork. Rian often reminded the crew, the Council believes strength comes from size, firepower, or speed. They forget the most important factor, our spirit. They do not know that humans thrive in the unpredictable. Mara added, "We learn, we adapt, we create. Others see chaos as danger. We see opportunity." By the end of these missions, humans had changed the way some species viewed them. Whispers of respect began to spread. Even small council delegates who had once mocked humans started sharing reports of their surprising achievements. Humans were still considered underdogs, but they were no longer dismissed entirely. The Endeavour returned to Earth after months in space, its crew tired but proud. Rian looked at the stars outside the viewport. Each star was a world to explore, a challenge to overcome, and an opportunity to prove human capability. "We have shown the galaxy that humans are not weak," he said. "This is only the beginning." Mara smiled beside him. "The Council may think they see us, but they have no idea what humans can do when we are pushed to our limits." The human crew prepared for their next journey. They were no longer just representatives of a small, underestimated planet. They were explorers, innovators, and survivors. And the galaxy would soon learn that humans were unlike any other species it had encountered. The signal came without warning. It was faint, almost lost in the background noise of the galaxy, but Mara detected it immediately. On Earth, the scientists gathered around her console, eyes wide with curiosity. The coordinates pointed to an uncharted region of space far beyond known systems. The Galactic Council had never mapped this area, and for a reason. Some warned it could be dangerous, unstable, or even forbidden. Captain Rian studied the data carefully. "The Council will tell US to ignore this," he said, his voice steady. "They will say it is too risky. But humans do not turn away from opportunity. We explore where others fear to go." Mara nodded. "It could be a derelict station, abandoned for centuries. If we can reach it, we might learn something new, something no one else knows." Tove, the engineer, added with a spark of excitement, "And we can test our new propulsion system in real conditions." Nothing beats learning in the field. The decision was made. The human crew would follow the signal. The Endeavour prepared for its longest journey yet, leaving the comfort of known space behind. Outside, the stars stretched endlessly. Every light seemed to promise discovery, danger, and opportunity. As they approached the coordinates, the crew saw it, a massive structure floating silently among debris. The station appeared ancient, covered with layers of dust and radiation scars. It was much larger than the human ship, and clearly not designed by any species currently in the Council. Mara scanned the station, her fingers flying over the controls. "Energy readings are still active," she said, her voice trembling slightly with excitement. "Some systems are functional, but most have been dormant for a long time." Rian gave orders to approach cautiously. They docked with the station and entered, the corridors dim and echoing. Walls displayed alien symbols, glowing faintly with a soft light. The crew moved carefully, aware that the station could be unstable. Every step revealed technology far beyond the Council's current capabilities. In the control room, they found consoles that contained star maps, energy distribution systems, and devices capable of resource extraction from asteroids and planets. Mara's eyes widened. This technology could change everything, she whispered. We could learn new propulsion methods, energy systems, even materials stronger than anything we have now. Tove began examining a device that resembled a compact energy generator. We could adapt this for our ships, he said, turning it over in his hands. It uses minimal fuel and produces more power than anything the Council has tested. The crew worked together, studying and documenting every discovery. Rian realized that the Council had never explored this region because they had underestimated humans. They assumed no one would dare venture so far without vast resources. Humans had neither. They had courage, creativity, and the ability to learn. Quickly, days passed, and the crew continued to uncover hidden systems within the station. They found maps of distant star systems, showing routes to planets rich in minerals and energy sources. The technology included adaptive shields and tools that could repair themselves in harsh conditions. Every discovery strengthened their confidence. Meanwhile, in the Council, reports of human activity began to circulate. Some members were intrigued, but most dismissed it as reckless behavior. They had seen humans survive dangerous missions before, but this was different. Humans were not just surviving, they were discovering, learning, and innovating in ways the Council could not predict. Rian spoke to the crew one evening as they prepared to leave the station. This is more than exploration, he said. We are proving that humans are not defined by size, weapons, or rules. We are defined by our ability to adapt, to learn, and to face the unknown without fear. Mara nodded, her eyes reflecting the faint glow of the station. The Council judges strength by raw power. They cannot measure curiosity, courage, or ingenuity. That is why we succeed where they hesitate. The crew prepared the station's technology for transport. They carefully packed adaptive generators, energy converters, and star maps, ensuring that nothing was damaged. Tove calibrated the systems to integrate with human designs, turning alien machinery into tools humans could use immediately. As they left the station and returned to their ship, the crew looked back. The ancient structure floated silently, a reminder of how much remained unknown in the galaxy. Humans had taken their first step into a part of space no one else had dared to explore, and they had returned stronger and wiser. Rian addressed the crew. Today, we have shown that human potential cannot be measured by appearances or assumptions. We are underestimated. Yes, but that is our advantage. They do not know what we can do until we do it. Mara smiled. And when they learn, it will be too late to stop us. The Endeavor set course back to Earth. Every star outside the viewport seemed brighter, filled with promise. The human crew had discovered technology, knowledge, and courage that would change the way the galaxy viewed them. They had proven that being underestimated was not a weakness. It was the first step toward greatness. Humanity had hidden potential, and the galaxy was only beginning to understand it. After returning from the hidden station, humans quickly became the topic of conversation across the galaxy. Word of their discoveries spread quietly at first. Some minor council members whispered about the human crew's courage and ingenuity. They had explored regions considered impossible and returned with alien technology that no other species had even imagined. Captain Rian knew that their actions were changing the galaxy's perception of humanity. We cannot rush this, he told Mara and Tove. We need to show them consistent skill, courage, and intelligence. One success can be dismissed as luck, but repeated victories will earn respect. The next mission was more ambitious. The humans received a message from a distant colony under threat. A collapsing planet had unstable tectonics. and the colony faced earthquakes and storms that could wipe out entire settlements. Most species had refused to help, citing danger. Humans saw it as a challenge they could meet. Rian led the mission, flying the Endeavour into the dangerous orbit. Mara analyzed the planet's energy patterns, while Tove adjusted their ship's shields against magnetic storms. As the planet quaked and violent winds tore through the atmosphere, humans executed daring maneuvers. Using knowledge from the hidden station, they navigated through unstable areas that would have destroyed other ships. The humans reached the colony and coordinated rescue efforts. They guided emergency supplies and evacuated the most vulnerable. Local inhabitants watched in awe at the small but efficient team. The humans worked tirelessly, and by the end of the mission, the colony was safe. News of this mission spread faster than any prior story. Holographic recordings of the humans' actions circulated across distant systems. Species that had once laughed at humans now began to take notice. Some minor council members started advocating for humanity to have a voice in galactic affairs. Rian was careful, however. Respect must be earned, not demanded, he said. We are showing the galaxy what humans can do, not telling them to change their minds. Our actions will speak for us. While humans focused on exploration and rescue missions, they also innovated. Using alien technology, they created adaptive tools that repaired damaged equipment automatically. They developed energy shields capable of withstanding extreme storms. Humans combined trial and error methods with precise calculations, producing results that no other species had achieved. Mara noticed a change among the young council delegates. They began observing human missions secretly, studying their methods. Even some older, experienced members began questioning their own assumptions. The very species that had once mocked humans were now curious. Humans were unpredictable, capable of turning impossible situations into successes. The humans also excelled in diplomacy. During one mission, they mediated a dispute between two species over a resource-rich asteroid. Using empathy, intelligence, and creativity, Rian and his team found a solution that satisfied both parties. This approach contrasted sharply with the Council's typical reliance on force or rigid rules. Tove reflected, humans see opportunities where others see threats. We do not ignore danger, but we do not let fear stop us. That is why we succeed. The humans' growing reputation attracted attention from unexpected allies. A few non-council species offered information and resources to help human missions. These alliances strengthened humanity's position, showing that cooperation and trust could achieve what intimidation never could. Despite growing admiration, some council members grew wary. They feared the humans' unpredictability and resourcefulness. Humans did not fit the patterns they understood. They were capable, independent, and unwilling to follow strict rules blindly. This combination made them both fascinating and dangerous in the eyes of the Council. On Earth, Rian addressed the human team. We have proven that humans are more than what others see. But respect is not given. It is earned through every choice, every action, every mission. We must continue to show courage, intelligence, and compassion. Mara added, the galaxy is learning that humans cannot be measured by the same rules as other species. Our strength lies in creativity, adaptability, and spirit. They cannot control what they cannot predict. The Endeavour prepared for its next journey. Outside the viewport, the stars stretched endlessly. Each mission was another step toward proving humanity's worth. Each challenge was another opportunity to show that humans were more than their appearance or technology. Humans were no longer just a curious species in the galaxy. They were explorers, rescuers, innovators, and diplomats. Every small victory, every clever solution, and every act of courage strengthened their reputation. The Galactic Council had underestimated them. The galaxy had laughed at them. But humans were rising, quietly and steadily. And soon, the Council would have to acknowledge that the species they had dismissed as weak could not be ignored. Rian looked at his crew and smiled. "We are being watched. Let them watch. They will learn that humans are not weak. They cannot stop us when we act together, when we think creatively, and when we refuse to give up." Mara nodded. "The galaxy is starting to see the truth. And we are only beginning." The Endeavor launched into the stars, carrying humans into missions that would reshape the galaxy's view of strength, courage, and intelligence. The era of underestimation was ending. Humanity's rise had begun. The Galactic Council had grown uneasy. Humans were no longer the small, fragile species they had dismissed. Reports of daring missions, rescued colonies, and clever innovations had reached the council chambers. Some members admired humanity, but others feared it. They saw humans as unpredictable and difficult to control. Captain Rian received a message from the council. It was a formal warning. Humans were ordered to limit their exploration and refrain from expanding influence into certain sectors. The council claimed it was for safety, but Rian understood the real reason. They wanted to keep humans weak and dependent. Rian called a meeting with Mara, Tove, and the rest of the crew. "The council underestimates us," he said firmly. "They think they can control our actions by setting rules and boundaries. They are wrong. Humans cannot be contained by fear or commands. But we must act wisely." Mara nodded. "We are capable of more than they expect. They do not see our adaptability, our courage, or our teamwork. If we follow their orders blindly, they will think they are right. We need a plan that shows humans cannot be stopped." Tove added, "We have allies. Many species respect our skills and our integrity. They trust us when the council refuses to act. We can build coalitions that give us strength beyond what the council expects." Rian approved the plan. Humans would continue their missions, but they would do so with precision, intelligence, and strategy. They would prove that obedience was not their measure, and courage, innovation, and collaboration were their true strength. Their first act of defiance was to assist a colony under attack from space pirates. The council had refused to intervene, saying it was a minor threat. Humans, however, moved quickly. The Endeavor approached the pirate fleet, analyzing their movements and weaknesses. Humans coordinated with nearby allies, using tactics no other species had tried before. Rian led the maneuver personally. The ship weaved through the pirate lines, disabling weapons with precise energy bursts. Mara directed support systems to repair minor damage immediately. Tove improvised energy shields that adapted to the pirates' attacks. The humans' coordination surprised everyone, including the pirates themselves. Within hours, the threat was neutralized, and the colony was safe. News of the mission spread across the galaxy. Some council members were shocked. Humans had acted decisively, effectively, and without waiting for approval. They were showing the galaxy that obedience to authority was not necessary to achieve results. Humans could act, innovate, and succeed independently. The council responded with an official directive to stop human expansion. They sent patrol fleets to intercept the Endeavor. But humans were prepared. Using stealth tactics and adaptive navigation systems, they avoided confrontations when possible, and when necessary, they used clever maneuvers to outsmart the patrols. Their ships were smaller, but their creativity made them unpredictable. During one encounter, a council cruiser blocked the human ship's path. Rian calculated an unorthodox route through a nearby asteroid field. The cruiser followed but became trapped in the shifting rocks. Humans guided it safely out of danger, proving their skill and strategic thinking. When the cruiser returned to the council, The officers admitted privately that humans were more capable than they had assumed. As the conflict continued, humans built alliances with willing species, minor civilizations that had observed humans. Actions offered resources, intelligence, and ships. They admired human courage and ingenuity. Together, these species formed a network that the Council could not easily control. Rian addressed the crew. "The Council fears what they do not understand," he said. "They see us as reckless, but we act with purpose. We adapt, we cooperate, and we do not give up. That is what makes humans strong." Mara added, "They measure strength by numbers and weapons. We measure strength by intelligence, courage, and resilience. That is why we succeed where others hesitate." The human crew continued their missions, saving colonies, exploring uncharted regions, and innovating technology. Each action demonstrated that humans could thrive, even when challenged by authority and danger. The Council's attempts to limit them only made humans more determined and resourceful. Finally, Rian realized that the Council's control was an illusion. They could not predict human decisions, and they could not stop a species that acted with unity, intelligence, and courage. Every mission, every success, and every act of creativity strengthened humans' reputation. By the end of this period, humans were no longer dismissed. They were respected and feared for their unpredictability. The Council had learned that underestimation could not contain a species that refused to be defined by others' expectations. Rian looked at the stars outside the viewport. "They tried to stop us," he said quietly. "They thought weakness was ours, but humans are not weak. We are capable, and they cannot hold us back." Mara smiled. "The galaxy is watching. Soon, they will understand that strength comes in many forms, and humans have found their own." The Endeavor prepared for its next mission. Every star in the distance seemed like a challenge waiting to be met, a problem to solve, and a new opportunity to prove human ingenuity and courage. Humanity was no longer underestimated, and the Council could no longer control their path. The galaxy was suddenly in chaos. Reports poured in from multiple systems about a rogue AI fleet attacking without warning. Ships were destroyed, colonies were threatened, and panic spread among the Galactic Council members. The Council debated endlessly, each species proposing different strategies and blaming others for inaction. Yet, no decisive plan emerged. Captain Rian watched the reports with calm determination. "The Council hesitates while the galaxy suffers," he said to Mara and Tove. "Humans cannot wait. We act. We adapt. That is how we survive." Mara nodded, analyzing. "The data. We have the technology, the courage, and the knowledge to respond. Others hesitate because they overthink or fear loss. Humans act because we understand the situation and trust our abilities." Rian quickly assembled the crew. The Endeavor set a course toward the regions most affected by the AI fleet. Along the way, the humans coordinated with willing species, forming an informal alliance. They shared intelligence, strategies, and resources. Unlike the Council, humans valued trust and cooperation, which allowed for rapid decision-making. As the human-led fleet approached the first AI attacks, Mara noticed a pattern. The AI ships moved with precision but lacked adaptability. "They follow set routines," she explained. "If we can predict their behavior, we can outmaneuver them." Tove had already developed a prototype of an adaptive disruption system based on technology recovered from the hidden station. "This could disable their coordination temporarily," he said. "It will give us the advantage we need to protect colonies and civilians." Rian gave the order to deploy. The humans approached the AI fleet cautiously, analyzing every movement. Using a combination of clever maneuvers, adaptive shields, and the disruption system, they managed to disable a portion of the AI fleet. Rogue ships became confused. and their attacks faltered. The human crew coordinated rescues and evacuations simultaneously. Colonies that had faced imminent destruction were saved. Humans acted decisively, while the Council continued to argue over the best approach. Their ships eventually joined the effort, but it was the humans who had already turned the tide. Mara and Tove worked tirelessly, continuously adapting technology to the unpredictable behavior of the AI. Their solutions were creative and immediate. They combined energy shields, automated repair systems, and real-time tactical adjustments to counter the AI fleet's attacks. Every move relied on flexibility, intelligence, and teamwork. For the first time, some council members realized that human methods were different but effective. They had underestimated the value of adaptability and courage. Humans had taken the lead not through brute force, but by thinking differently, acting decisively, and trusting their abilities. The rogue AI fleet attempted a major assault on a large colony. Rian devised a bold strategy. Using diversionary tactics, the humans lured part of the fleet into a trap near an asteroid field. Adaptive shields absorbed energy blasts, while human ships executed maneuvers that the AI could not predict. Tove activated the disruption system, temporarily disabling the AI coordination. Mara guided reinforcements to protect the colony. The plan succeeded. The AI fleet was weakened, and the colony remained unharmed. After the battle, Rian addressed his crew. "We have shown the galaxy what humans can do. Strength is not just power or numbers. It is courage, intelligence, adaptability, and cooperation. The Council is learning what we always knew. Humans cannot be stopped when we act together and trust ourselves." Mara added, "This was more than a victory against the AI. It was a demonstration of human spirit. We do not rely on fear, authority, or control. We rely on each other, our knowledge, and our willingness to take risks when necessary." The human-led coalition continued to neutralize rogue AI threats across the galaxy. Colonies were saved, trade routes reopened, and chaos began to subside. By the time the Galactic Council fully mobilized, humans had already solved the most critical problems. Their actions inspired other species to join in collaboration, and they learned that following human guidance often led to better outcomes than rigid council orders. The crisis revealed a truth that the Council could no longer ignore. Humans were not weak, reckless, or primitive. They were innovative, brave, and capable of leadership in situations others feared to confront. The galaxy began to see humans as more than underdogs. They were problem solvers, pioneers, and protectors. Rian looked at the stars beyond the viewport, reflecting on the battles. "They underestimated us," he said softly. "They thought humans were weak. But courage, intelligence, and determination cannot be measured by appearances or assumptions. We have shown them our strength." Mara smiled beside him. "And now the galaxy is beginning to understand. This is only the start of what humans can achieve." The Endeavor prepared for the next mission. The galaxy had witnessed humans' capabilities, and respect was growing. Humans had proven that when faced with danger, when faced with impossible challenges, their spirit could shine brighter than any weapon, any fleet, or any authority. Humanity had turned a crisis into a turning point. The Council had begun to recognize the truth. Humans were not to be dismissed. They were not weak. And soon, the galaxy would see just how unstoppable they could be. The galaxy had changed. Human achievements during the AI crisis had shifted the way other species viewed them. No longer were humans considered weak or fragile. Their courage, intelligence, and adaptability had earned attention, respect, and even admiration. Captain Rian stood before the human crew aboard the Endeavor, looking at the stars beyond the viewport. "We have faced danger," he said quietly, "and we have shown the galaxy who we are. But our work is not done. Respect is earned every day, through action, through courage, and through the way we treat others. Mara, standing beside him, nodded. The council has seen our strength. They cannot ignore it anymore. But true respect comes from what we do, not from what they say. We must continue to lead with intelligence, creativity, and compassion. The Galactic Council had summoned a meeting to formally recognize humans. This time, humans were not just delegates, they were equals. Species that had once dismissed them now looked with curiosity and, in some cases, admiration. The council chambers were filled with tension and anticipation. Rian entered with the human delegation. They walked confidently, aware that every eye in the chamber was on them. Council President Veller spoke first. Humans have demonstrated remarkable courage, ingenuity, and leadership. Your species has proven that it is capable of much more than we initially believed. The Council formally recognizes humanity as a full member with equal standing. The words echoed across the chamber. Some members nodded respectfully, while others quietly acknowledged that humans had exceeded expectations. For the first time, humans felt the recognition they deserved. They had earned it not through demands or intimidation, but through action, bravery, and creativity. Rian stepped forward and addressed the council. Thank you for this acknowledgement. But we hope you understand that human strength is not in weapons, numbers, or size. Our strength lies in adaptability, courage, intelligence, and cooperation. We act because we care about the galaxy and its inhabitants. That is what drives us. Mara added, humans do not seek control or dominance. We seek understanding, exploration, and collaboration. Our actions during the AI crisis showed that when we work together, we can overcome challenges that seem impossible. The council members listened intently. For the first time, they were not judging humans. They were learning from them. Many realized that human methods, creativity, empathy, and adaptability were as valuable as advanced technology or brute strength. As humans left the council chamber, messages of support and congratulations poured in from across the galaxy. Minor civilizations that had watched humans rise offered resources, technology, and partnership. Allies who had once been cautious now trusted humanity's leadership and guidance. Back on Earth, Rian gathered the crew. We have been recognized, he said, but the real test is how we continue to act. Respect is not a title. It is a responsibility. We must continue to explore, innovate, and protect. We must continue to show that humans are capable of great things. Tolv smiled. The galaxy now knows what humans can do. But it is our duty to keep proving it. Every mission, every decision, every act of courage will show that humans are a force for good. Mara added, we have learned that strength is not measured by what others see. It is measured by how we think, how we act, and how we overcome challenges. Humans have shown that spirit can be stronger than any machine, any rule, or any expectation. The human crew prepared the Endeavor for its next mission. Beyond the ship's viewport, stars glimmered like endless possibilities. Every world was an opportunity to learn, help, and explore. Every challenge was a chance to demonstrate human ingenuity, courage, and teamwork. Captain Rian reflected on the journey. Humans had been underestimated at every step. The council had laughed, doubted, and dismissed them. Yet, humans had turned every obstacle into an opportunity. They have faced danger without hesitation, solved problems with creativity, and acted with courage when others froze in fear. Now, humanity's place in the galaxy was secure. They were not just survivors or explorers. They were leaders, innovators, and protectors. The galaxy had learned that humans could not be contained or controlled. They could not be dismissed or ignored. Rian spoke to the crew one last time before launch. We are no longer the species they underestimated. We are humans, capable of great courage, intelligence, and creativity. We've earned respect, but we must continue to earn it every day. That is how we shape the galaxy's future." Mara smiled. "The Council and the galaxy have seen our potential. Now, it is our responsibility to live up to it." The Endeavor launched into the stars once more. Humanity had proven that strength is more than power, more than numbers, and more than technology. True strength is spirit, courage, adaptability, and the refusal to accept limits. The galaxy watched as humans rose to meet every challenge. They were no longer underestimated. They could not be stopped. And this was only the beginning. Humanity had earned its place among the stars, and the galaxy would never forget it.